Egypt, land of the Pharaohs, a land steeped in mystery and grandeur, where the sands whisper tales of gods and kings, a civilization built on the banks of the Nile, the lifeblood of an empire that spanned millennia, nurturing a culture that would leave an indelible mark on history. For millennia they ruled as gods on earth, their legacy etched in stone, their stories told through the hieroglyphics that adorn their temples and monuments. But even gods are not eternal. Time, the great equalizer, has worn down their once mighty structures, leaving behind echoes of a glorious past. Today we journey back to the twilight of a golden age, an age where the sun set on the last great pharaoh, marking the end of an era. We meet Ramesses III, the last great pharaoh of Egypt's new kingdom, a ruler whose reign was a beacon of hope in troubled times. Ramesses III ascended to the throne in 1186 BC. His coronation marked the beginning of a reign that would be both celebrated and challenged. He inherited a kingdom facing threats from within and without. Internal strife and external invasions tested his leadership and resolve. His reign would be marked by both triumph and tragedy. Victories in battle and the sorrow of betrayal would define his time as pharaoh. But for a time, Ramesses held the tide of chaos at bay. His strategic prowess and unyielding spirit fortified Egypt against its enemies. He would prove to be a warrior king, a builder of magnificent monuments, and a symbol of Egyptian resilience. His legacy, though weathered by time, continues to inspire awe and admiration. The late Bronze Age was a time of great change. Across the Mediterranean, empires were crumbling. Mycenaean Greece was in decline. The Hittite Empire in Anatolia was collapsing. Out of this chaos emerged a new threat, the enigmatic sea peoples. These maritime raiders, their origins still shrouded in mystery, launched a series of devastating attacks on the established powers of the region. Egypt, with its rich resources and fertile Nile delta, became a prime target. It was into this turbulent world that Ramesses III was born. Ramesses III was not destined for greatness by birth. He was born into a royal family, but not the main line of succession. His father, Setnakta, seized the throne, restoring order after a period of internal strife. Ramesses, as a prince, would have received a rigorous education. He was trained in warfare, diplomacy, and administration. His father's reign was short, but it laid the foundation for Ramesses III's future successes. When Setnakta died, Ramesses, already a seasoned leader, was well prepared to assume the mantle of pharaoh. Ramesses III's reign was dominated by war. The sea peoples, having ravaged other lands, were now at Egypt's doorstep. Their fleets, laden with warriors and their families, sought new lands to conquer. They attacked Egypt in two great waves. The first assault came in his fifth regnal year. Ramesses met them head-on at the Nile Delta. He deployed a cunning strategy, using his navy to block the enemy's advance while archers rained down arrows from the riverbanks. The victory was decisive, but it was only a prelude to a greater conflict to come. Legacy in stone. Ramesses, like the great pharaohs before him, was a prolific builder. He commissioned grand temples, towering statues, and impressive fortifications. These structures served not only as religious and defensive structures, but also as powerful propaganda tools. His most impressive architectural achievement is undoubtedly his mortuary temple at Medinet Habu. Here on the walls, Ramesses III ensured that his victories over the sea peoples were immortalized in stone. The reliefs depict the clash of armies, the Egyptians' superior tactics, and the brutal aftermath of battle. Whispers of conspiracy. Despite his military successes, Ramesses III's reign was not without its shadows. His victories on the battlefield were celebrated, but they masked the growing unrest within his own palace walls. The pharaoh, known for his strength and strategic mind, was unaware of the brewing storm that would soon threaten his very life. Towards the end of his life, he faced a serious threat from within his own court. The whispers of discontent grew louder, and the once loyal subjects began to question his rule. The opulence of the palace could not hide the treachery that was taking root in the hearts of those closest to him. The harem conspiracy, documented in the judicial papyrus of Turin, reveals a plot to assassinate the pharaoh and place a usurper on the throne. This ancient document provides a detailed account of the conspiracy, shedding light on the dark machinations that threaten to upend the stability of the kingdom. The conspiracy was orchestrated by one of Ramesses' own wives, Tia, who sought to install her son as pharaoh. Tia, a woman of ambition and cunning, leveraged her position within the royal harem to gather supporters and plot the downfall of her husband. Her motivations were driven by a desire for power and a belief that her son was the rightful heir to the throne. The plot was ultimately foiled, but not before it threw the royal court into turmoil. The discovery of the conspiracy led to a series of dramatic events, with accusations flying and trust shattered. The once stable court was now a hotbed of suspicion and fear as the pharaoh sought to root out all those involved. The conspirators, including high-ranking officials and members of the royal family, were caught and punished. The trials were swift and the punishments severe, serving as a stark warning to any who might consider betraying the pharaoh. The legacy of the harem conspiracy remains a testament to the dangers of power and the lengths to which individuals will go to achieve it. An enduring legacy. Ramesses III died in 1155 BC. His death marked the beginning of the end for the new kingdom. Egypt would continue for another century, but its power was waning. Yet Ramesses III left behind a legacy that would resonate for millennia. His reign is a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of ancient Egyptian civilization. He is remembered as the last great pharaoh of the new kingdom, a warrior king who defended Egypt from its enemies, and a builder who left behind magnificent monuments that still inspire awe and wonder today. The twilight of a dynasty. Ramesses III's reign was a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. Ascending to the throne during a time of great turmoil, he faced numerous challenges that threatened the very existence of his kingdom. His leadership and military prowess were put to the test as he confronted external threats and internal strife. He successfully defended his kingdom from the brink of collapse, repelling the Sea Peoples and restoring internal stability. The Sea Peoples, a confederation of naval raiders, posed a significant threat to Egypt and other civilizations of the eastern Mediterranean. Ramesses III's victories against them were crucial in maintaining Egypt's sovereignty. His building projects, particularly his magnificent mortuary temple at Medinet Habu, stand as testaments to his power and piety. This temple, adorned with intricate carvings and grandiose structures, not only served as a place of worship but also as a monument to his military achievements and divine kingship. Yet his reign also foreshadowed the decline that was to come. Despite his successes, the seeds of Egypt's eventual downfall were sown during his time. Economic difficulties, labor strikes, and corruption began to erode the foundations of the once mighty empire. The harem conspiracy revealed the fragility of even the most powerful pharaoh's grip on power. This plot, orchestrated by members of his own household, aimed to assassinate Ramesses III and place a rival on the throne. The conspiracy's exposure and the subsequent trials highlighted the internal divisions and vulnerabilities within the royal court. Ramesses III may have been the last great pharaoh, but his death marked the beginning of the end for the new kingdom and Egypt's slow descent from its position as the dominant power in the Near East. The subsequent rulers lacked his strength and vision, leading to a gradual decline in political stability and economic prosperity. The twilight of his dynasty was a poignant reminder of the impermanence of even the greatest empires. Explore ancient Egypt. The story of Ramesses III is just one chapter in the vast and fascinating history of ancient Egypt. Subscribe now to our channel and continue to explore the mysteries and wonders of this ancient civilization.